Your kid has 4,000 messages going this week. It doesn't look like a problem. It looks like a kid with a thriving social life. Here's the trap inside the trap. They can't feel the deficit. The kid logs thousands of hours of what looks like a social apprenticeship. And almost none of the apprenticeship actually happens. Reading a face, holding eye contact, sitting silent without panicking. Ghosting is the native conflict resolution move of a chat-raised generation. The job, the love, the friendship, the networking, the damage is silent at 14, but it's deafening at 22. The thing that will decide their adult life more than the grades we are worried about. That's the stakes, not kids text too much. So what do you do? Your kid has 4,000 messages going this week. Group chats lighting up at midnight. A running conversation with 6 people that never actually ends. It just pauses while they sleep. By every visible sign, they are deeply, constantly social. They've got friends, they are talking all day long. And a friend of theirs lives 20 minutes away, free this afternoon, reachable. They will text that friend 40 times today. They won't see them. That's the thing this episode is about. And the reason it's so easy to miss. It doesn't look like a problem. It looks like a kid with a thriving social life. From where you're standing, they're connected and they're fine. Today I want to show you what's actually happening underneath all that talking. Why a kid surrounded by reachable people still picks the screen, and why the most connected generation in history is arriving at adulthood unable to do the one thing every adult relationship and every job requires. By the end, you'll have one question to ask about your kid, not how much do they chat, a sharper one that tells you in about 10 seconds whether their texting is healthy or whether it's quietly become the whole show. And a specific low effort move that fixes it without taking a single thing away. Let me start somewhere most parenting content won't, because if I don't, you won't trust the rest of what I say. Chat is good for your kid. Not, I suppose it has its uses. It's good. The shy kid who can't get a word out in a crowded room finds in text that they are funny, that they are quick, that people like them. They build a confidence online they can carry back into the real world. The friendship that would have quietly died across distance, a friend who moved, a kid in a different school, stays alive because of a group chat. The kid who needs to see something hard. I'm not okay. I think I like someone. Something happened. And can't get it out face to face, can get it out in text first. Text is sometimes the only door that opens. And the kid who's different, the queer kid in a small town, the kid who doesn't fit the local mold, the kid who's isolated for any reason. Sometimes online is the first place they're actually understood. For that kid, the chat isn't a substitute for connection. It is the connection. It might be keeping them afloat. So I'm not here to tell you texting is rotting your kid's brain. It isn't. So what's the catch then? Everything I just praised and the thing I'm about to warn you about, they are the same activity. Same kid, same thumbs, same app. The difference isn't what they are doing. The difference is whether it's one part of their social life or the whole social life. Texting a friend all afternoon is great. For a kid who also sees friends, who also has awkward in-person moments, who also sits across a table from someone in real silence, sometimes, for that kid, chat is a supplement, a slice. The exact same texting is a problem when it's quietly become the entire diet. When the screen isn't part of how they relate. It's how they relate, full stop. When weeks go by and there's been no face, no voice, nobody in the room, just thumbs. So the question is never, do they chat too much? The question is, what else is there? And here's the version of this that should actually worry you. It's not the kid whose friends are generally far away, texting to stay connected. That kid's making the best of distance. It's the kid whose friends live 15 minutes away and who still picks the thread over the doorbell. There's not separation. That's a kid for whom the screen has quietly become easier than people, even when people are right there. Distance makes it worse. A friend who moved, a kid between friend groups, But the everyday version is the one to watch. The friend down the road who gets texted instead of seen. So why does it matter if chat becomes the whole diet? They are still socializing, aren't they? Still maintaining friendships, still working things out with people. Well, no. Childhood and the teen years are social apprenticeship. It's the years where a person is supposed to log thousands of small reps at the things that make an adult able to be with other people. Reading a face, catching the flicker that means someone's hurt even though they say I'm fine, holding eye contact, sitting silent without panicking, feeling the temperature of a room shift and adjusting, recovering from saying the wrong thing, repairing a friendship after a rupture instead of just walking away from it. None of those live in text. Not one. Chat trains a different set of skills. It trains thumb speed. Wit, you've got 30 seconds to compose. Emoji fluency, and it is fluency. The precise string of emojis that carries a whole paragraph is a real grammar, whether or not you personally can read it. But notice what's not on that list. Tone, face, timing, silence, repair, every channel that real social skill actually lives in. Text strips out by design. It's not a flaw in texting. It's just what texting is, a medium that removes the body, the voice, the pause, and the consequence of being in a room while it lands. So the kid logs thousands of hours of what looks like a social apprenticeship, and almost none of the apprenticeship actually happens. They come out the other end fluent in a medium that removed the exact skills the years were for. And here's the trap inside the trap. They can't feel the deficit because the screen felt like the real thing the whole time. It felt like socializing. So there's no alarm going off, no visible gap. You want to know where it becomes visible? Not at 14. The damage is silent at 14, but it's deafening at 22. Here's one you've probably been on the other end of. You are at a counter, coffee shop, pastry shop, anywhere, and the young person serving you cannot read you. They can't see you are in a hurry. They miss that you are getting annoyed. Your polite but clearly disappointed face says one thing and they register nothing. Because reading a face that's saying something without words is a skill nobody built on them. That's not a bad kid. That's a kid who did their whole social apprenticeship through a screen and arrived at a job that suddenly requires the thing the screen never taught. It shows up at their own first interview, where they can feel the room go cool, can't catch the cue to wrap up, can't perform words with a face instead of a thumbs up. It shows up in the first real relationship, the first hard conversation that can't be reduced to a careful emoji string. And they have no idea how to sit in the discomfort of someone else's face while something difficult gets said. So they reach for the only conflict tool chat ever taught them. They ghost. Ghosting is the native conflict resolution move of a chat-raised generation. The thread just ends. You don't repair, you don't sit in it, you stop replying to a person the way you'd stop replying to a message. It shows up with the first boss, whose disappointment is in their face, not their words. And the kid generally cannot read it. And here's why this matters more every year, not less. The job market is moving, and is moving toward exactly these skills. As more of the hard technical output side of work gets automated, the thing that's left, the thing that actually separates people, is the human part. Can you read a room, hold a difficult conversation, work with people who frustrate you, repair things when they get broken? Employers are saying it out loud. Now, they will take the candidate with the people skills over the one with the slightly better hard skills. So the reps your kid is not getting aren't some soft extra. They are becoming the main event, the thing that will decide their adult life more than the grades we are worried about. That's the stakes, not kids text too much. It's your kid is going to walk into rooms that decide their adult life. The job, the love, the friendship, the networking, unable to do the thing those rooms increasingly run on. Before I get to what you actually do about it, if this is landing, hit like and subscribe. 2 seconds, it helps other parents find this, and you won't miss what's coming. Okay, the fix. So, what do you do? And I'll tell you what you don't do first. You don't take the chat away. You can't, and you shouldn't. We spent the first half of this episode on why it has real value, and we spent last week's whole episode on why confiscation backfires anyway. The move isn't subtraction, it's addition. You don't remove the chat. You re-engineer the in-person reps back into the diet. So the chat goes back to being the supplement it should be instead of the whole meal. And the fix is easier than the problem feels because the thing that's missing is usually right there. The friends exist. The hours exist. The real world option is available. It's just that the thread is the path of least resistance. And nobody's nudging them off it. The default is lazy, but not impossible. When friends are reachable, you engineer the reps another way. And I'll come to that. But for most kids, most of the time, the real thing is closer than the phone makes it feel. So you make the real world option available and slightly more magnetic. Same logic as the phone episode. You don't polish. You change what's easiest. A few practical ways. Make your house the house. The one where the friends can actually come over, raid the fridge, sprawl in the living room. It's noisier and it costs you something, but in-person reps are happening under your roof. That's real life. Create the reasons to be in a room together. A few weeks of job is pure social rep gold. Real adults, awkward exchanges, a boss face to read, a customer to handle, the team practice, the volunteer thing, the trip where they are stuck with humans and no perfect emoji to hide behind. You are not pulling them off the chat. You are making sure the chat has competition. Now, just get them in a room with people sounds simple, and I'd be lying if I pretended it is. So, let me name the real reasons it doesn't happen because they are not laziness. Most of them are understandable, and naming them is how you get past them. 1. The fear. We are the most safety-anxious generation of parents in history. We grew up roaming the neighborhood till dark, but we are raising kids we won't let walk to the shop. A lot of their safer at home on that phone is that fear talking. And it's worth being honest that a kid alone in their room with the entire internet is not actually the safe option you feel it is. The screen feels supervised because they're under your roof. It isn't. 2. The effort, and I say it plainly because it's true for all of us. Having friends over means knowing their friends, it means preparing, it means meeting other parents, making the call, hosting, doing the small awkward labor of building a kid's real world social life. The thread requires none of that from you. It is easier for the parent too, but easier for you now is the same trap as easier for them now. Is the path of least resistance, billing you later. 3. Sometimes it's real infrastructure. The hangout places are gone. There are no squares, no mall. They are allowed it. Nowhere to be that isn't someone's house. That's one note in your head. So here's the split, depending on your actual situation. If the friends are reachable, lower the barriers you can lower. Be the house. Make the call to the other parent, even though it's a small effort. Push past the safety reflex enough to let them go and be somewhere. You're not being negligent. You are letting the apprenticeship happen. If the friends aren't reachable, then you engineer presence in a different way. Anything that puts them in a room with humans they have to deal with. The volunteering shift, a team, a class, the few weeks job. It doesn't have to be friends. It has to be bodies in a room and a reason to engage with them. The point isn't the social life. The point is the reps, remember? So zoom out, and here's the one line under all of it. The skills that run an adult life, reading people, sitting in discomfort, making small talk, networking, repairing what breaks, can only be built in person, in real time, with a real body in the room. There is no text version. So your job isn't to fight the chat, but to make sure your kid doesn't do their entire social apprenticeship in the one place it can't happen. Most of the time, and this is the part that should make you feel better, the option is right there. The friends exist, the reps are available. Someone just has to make the real thing a little more available than the thread. That someone is you, and the lift is smaller than you think. 3 takes away before I let you go. 1. Stop asking, do they chat too much? Ask, what else is in the diet? A kid with chat and in-person people and the reason to read real faces is thriving. A kid with chat and nothing else is the one to pay attention to. 2. The kid to watch isn't the one whose friends are far away. It's the one whose friends are reachable and who picks the thread anyway. There's the tell that the screen has become easier than people. And 3, don't ban it. Out-compete it. If friends are at hand, lower the barriers. Be the house, make the call, push past the fear. If they are not, manufacture the reps another way. A job, a team, a volunteering shift, anything with real bodies in a real room. You are not building a social calendar. You are making sure the apprenticeship happens somewhere. And if you want to put back the social skills into your kids' hands, that's the core of my work. The teen-faced sheets, the social toolkit, and the communication system. The stuff chat will never teach them. Links in the description. Next week, you know your teen spends all day talking to these people. But do you actually know who they are? The names in the group chat, the friends you've never met, the ones shaping your kid more than you do right now? Do you really know your teen's friends? That's next. See you then.